Then we will have return URL, so private underscore return. Then we have cancel URL, private underscore cancel, or cancel payment actually. Okay, if we scroll up, after cancel, we will have notify URL for IPN, for instant payment notification. So we have private underscore notify underscore URL. Then we have currency code, private underscore currency underscore code, which will be, for me, it's going to be GBP, which is British pound sterling. Okay, then we have tax, VAT amount for card purposes, which is what we're going to be using. Let's scroll up a little bit again. Public this time is going to be underscore tax card equals 0 by default. Then we have tax / VAT amount for X click, which will be public underscore tax as well, null by default. We won't be using this one, but as I said, you might be using this at some point with this class. Okay, now we're going to have pre-populating checkout pages. So pre-populating checkout pages, and the values might be address 1, address 2, which isn't required, city, which is required, state, which is required, zip, which is required. If we're providing this information, then we have country, which is required, email as well required, first name, let's put the comma here, first name, which is also required. Then we have last name, which is also required. And obviously this, now what these do basically, if we want to send someone to PayPal and we have all his contact details, address and everything, we can put this as well and send it directly to PayPal, so he won't have to retype all this information within the form if they're going to be paying with the credit card, because they're already going to pre-populate the form basically. So let's put the note, because obviously you have to have all required fields filled in, otherwise it won't work. Just so you remember, all these required fields have to be provided. If you miss one of them, it's not going to work. So public populate, and we're going to leave it as an empty array. Okay, we go further. Now we're going to have data received from PayPal. It's going to be private IPN data. This is response from the IPN, and it's going to be an empty array by default as well. Okay. After this, we have path to the log file for IPN response, and we have private underscore log file equals null. And now we need the variable to store the result of the response from PayPal, basically when we sending data back. So result of sending data back to post. Okay, and it's going to be private underscore IPN result, and let's leave it like that. Actually, back to post doesn't make sense. Sending data back to PayPal, let's say PayPal after IPN. I think that's a little bit more, that sounds a little bit more reasonable. Okay, so we've got all of our parameters. Let's move to the next video and start with the constructor and all other methods that will be inside of the PayPal class.